Now we shall draw the symbol position of a pentagonal prism when it is resting on HP in such a way that base edge is perpendicular to VP, or else we can tell this symbol position in another words like this, in which a rectangular face is perpendicular to VP. Both of this are one and the same. If a base edge is perpendicular to VP, naturally for a prism, a rectangular face also will be perpendicular to VP. So actually we are having two ways in which we can construct the same solid's symbol position. We shall see one out of them. So we shall start from the extreme left. Here one of the base edges is perpendicular to VP. So perpendicular to VP means it will be perpendicular to the XY line in the top view. So we shall start it from this extreme end. So let us assume that it is having a base edge length of 30 mm and a height of 70 mm. So we shall start with a line that is perpendicular to the XY line from the left hand side. So here I shall draw a line which is having a length of 30 mm. So a thick line which is having a length of 30 mm. Now we shall draw a perpendicular. So this is totally 30 mm. We shall mark the center of it, and we shall draw a perpendicular bisector to this line. So the next line is a continuous thin line, slightly extended. Now from one of the ends of this line, from any one of the ends, we shall take an angle of 54. So what is 54? 54 is the half included angle of a pentagon. So the included angle of a pentagon is 108. Half of it is 54. So we shall take an angle of 54. Now to this point, let us draw a straight line, a thin line, a continuous thin line. Now we are having a perpendicular bisector here, we are having a 54-degree line here. Here we are having the meeting point of these two lines. From this point, using our compass, from this point we shall take the measurement to one of the ends of the initial line. So take it in compass and draw a thin circle. This is also a continuous thin line. Now let us take the base edge length of the prism, which is 30 mm. Again using the same compass, let us take 30 mm and we shall cut an arc to this side and one more arc to this side. Now using your roller scale, we shall join the first line to this arc. So here we are having a meeting point of the circle with respect to this arc. So we shall join it to this particular meeting point. On the other side also, here we are having an arc and a circle. Here we are having a common meeting point. To this point we shall draw a straight line, a thick line. Now here we are having the meeting point of the circle with respect to the perpendicular bisector. So this is that meeting point. So again another line. So the base shape is completed. So this is the base shape of a pentagonal prism. Here we don't have slanting edges which are from the center. Now we shall name the prism starting from this particular point. So we shall name, so for a pentagonal prism, we are having 5 corners on the top and 5 corners on the base. So totally it is 5 plus 5, 10 corners. So when you are observing it from the top, you can see around 5 corners. So we shall mark those visible corners. So let us mark it as A, B, C, D and E. So these are the 5 corners of the top face which are visible in the top view. So likewise, we are having 5 more corners at the bottom side. So if you consider this, this is actually a rectangular prism. On the top face, we are having 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 corners which are visible. Likewise, on the bottom face also, we will be having 4 corners which are invisible. So likewise, for a pentagonal prism also, we will be having 5 corners which are visible and 5 corners which are invisible, which are on the base. Now we shall name the base corners in this way. Let us name the base corner which is invisible on this side as A1. Here it is B1, C1, D1 and E1. So as A1, B1, C1, D1, E1 are invisible, I have written it in brackets. So A, B, C, D, E are the visible corners when you are observing from the top, and A1, B1, C1, D1, E1 are the corners which are on the base. So this 5 corners A1, B1, C1, D1, E1 will be invisible in the top, and this is the center of the corresponding prism. And we shall draw the front view by extending projectors. First we shall draw the axis. So we shall assume a height of 70 mm. So we shall draw a chain line. From this center I have drawn a projection line. So this is the center of the prism. So from this point I shall draw a chain thin line. So this is 70 mm. Again, from this point also 70 mm, and from this extreme right hand side again 70 mm. So the outline of the front view of this particular prism is a rectangle. So outline is a rectangle, and we shall name it. So along the top we are having A, B, C, D, E, and along the base it is A1, B1, C1, D1, E1. So with respect to the front view, this is the top face along which we will be having A, B, C, D, E, and this is the bottom face along which we will be having A1, B1, C1, D1 and E1. So we shall mark those points in the front view. So here point A. So A is on the top face. So this will be A dash. And this A1 will be at the bottom face. A1 dash. Next it is B. B and B1. So B will be on the top face. So this is B dash and this is B1 dash. Here it is C. So C will be on the top face. C dash, and here it will be C1 dash. Then again it is point D and D1. So D will be here. It is D dash, and here it will be D1 dash, and again here it is E and E1. So E1 will be located here. Sorry, this is E dash and this is E1 dash. Now we have to mark the invisible points in the front view. So in order to find out the invisible points in the front view, we shall consider the present top view. So here on the extreme left we are having E, and on the extreme right we are having C. Let us assume a straight line connecting the leftmost extreme and the rightmost extreme. So actually we are having 4 points on this side which are on the extreme left, out of which we will be considering the point which is at the front with respect to the xy line. So E is considered as the leftmost extreme and C is considered as the rightmost extreme. So let us assume a line connecting these 2 points. So all the points which are in between this straight line, this assumed straight line and the xy line, it will be invisible in the front. So let us check out which all are these points. So A and A1, it will be invisible. So here it is A in brackets, A1 dash is also in brackets. So B and B1. So B dash in brackets and B1 dash also in brackets. So this is about the naming. Now let us draw the remaining lateral edges of the corresponding prism. So which are all the lateral edges? Lateral edges are AA1, BB1, CC1, DD1 and EE1. So we have already drawn E dash E1 dash. Behind that we have got A dash A1 dash. So A dash A1 dash is actually invisible, but it is getting overlapped by E dash E1 dash. That is why we are not able to represent A dash A1 dash as an invisible line. When it comes to here we are having 2 lateral edges. They are B dash B1 dash and D dash D1 dash, out of which B dash B1 dash is invisible. So we had to draw a dashed thick line along this region, but as we are having D dash D1 dash along the same line, it gets overlapped with B dash B1 dash. So here we are having provision only to draw D dash D1 dash as a continuous thick line, so it will be visible. On the extreme right it is C dash C1 dash. So this is the front view of the corresponding prism and this is the top view. So here when you are observing the top, all these edges are actually representing a rectangular face also. So here on this extreme left, actually we can see only an edge here, but below this edge we are having a rectangular face. The name of that rectangular face is AEE1A1. AEE1A1. Here also we are having another edge. So when you are observing from the top, actually under this edge, that is AB, we are having a rectangular face. That rectangular face is AB, B1, E1. So likewise, here also we will be having a rectangular face. Here also we are having a rectangular face. Here also we will be having a rectangular face, which is not visible in the top view. In this diagram, we shall mark the axis also. So this is the center of the top view. I have marked the axis as O1. So O is on the top surface which is containing A, B, C, D, E, and O1 is on the base which is containing A1, B1, C1, D1, E1. So when it comes to the front view, O dash will be along the top surface and O1 dash will be along the bottom surface. So if this prism, if it is tilted to the right hand side, it will be resting on base corner C1. So this is base corner C1, and if it is tilted to the right hand side, lateral edge CC1 will have inclination with SP. So this is lateral edge CC1. So it is visible in the front view and CC1 is visible as a point in the top view. So along all these 5 points, we are actually having some lateral edges which are AA1, BB1, CC1, DD1 and EE1. If the prism is tilted to the left hand side, it will be resting on base edge A1, E1. So this is base edge A1, E1. Here also we can see A1, E1 which is invisible in the top view. And again, if it is tilted to the left hand side, the lateral face, which is a rectangular face, which is A1, A, E, E1 will have inclination with SP. So on the left hand side here, along this edge, below this edge AE, actually we are having a rectangular face or lateral face, and the name of that lateral face is A1E, EE1. So here this is the same lateral face which is visible as a line in the front view and which is also visible as a line in the top view. This is actually an edge AE. So here the lateral face is A1, E1, E1, A1. So here it is not A1, E1, here it is AE, A1, E1.